is Ryan Oxenhorn. I'm the owner of Ox Audio. We're in Cheltenham, Pennsylvania, about 2 blocks outside of Northeast Philadelphia. I've been the owner of this business for about 10 years now, which I started on my own, and I've been in the industry for just about 24 years now. I would say the biggest challenge that I've had to overcome in the last year would absolutely be learning the world of 3D. It is such a different world, 3D modeling, than it is just designing vector files. Vector files, I feel like I picked it up and not perfect, but I could do the majority of it, in a few days. Versus 3D, it took me a few days just to learn how to make a cylinder with walls instead of just a solid cylinder. Learning the 3D world has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. Okay, so it's crazy to me that we can use our phones, like our simple iPhones. I shouldn't say simple, they're $1,000 bucks. But you can use an iPhone, 3D scan a section of a car, then you can import that. I use Shaper 3D. You can import that into there and then basically design whatever you want to design on top of it. So the fact that we've been able to use that and integrate it into vehicles has been I think it's one of the coolest innovations since car audio, since I've been into car audio at least to me. And it's definitely been the most difficult thing to learn out of anything I've really had to learn ever. I would say that my coworkers would describe me as, and I hate to say it, extremely anal. I don't hate to say it. I'd actually rather be anal and stuff come out good, truthfully. But I'm the kind of person that I can't stand if a radio is tilted to one side because the screw was tightened too tight or whatever. If it's off by a 1/16 of an inch and it's angled down, I'm the kind of person that will rip the whole dash back apart, raise it up on the one side, or do whatever needs to be done to straighten it out. Because I can't stand, to me it just looks, anything that looks hokey like that, it can't stay. It has to go back. It has to get fixed. As far as influencing them, I don't quit. I know they would say that. I'm not the type to ever quit. I don't let anything beat me. And I know for a fact that my coworkers would say the same exact thing about me. And the other good thing about that, it gives them drive to finish something. So for instance, if we're having a small problem and something needs to be fixed or whatever, a lot of people get worked up or overwhelmed about that. I don't. I just say, you know what? Rip it off, let's do it again. It's not a big deal. And they said, you know what? You're right, it's not a big deal. Let's just get it done. And that's my whole thing. Got it done. Let's do it and get it done right. I definitely say that my installation philosophy is fabrication. My main thing, I want to be able to fabricate parts to look like they came that way in the vehicle. I want them to look like they're either OEM or better quality or our quality. I want those parts to look like they belong in a vehicle. I don't want it to look like somebody shoved a square peg into a round hole. Not that that's the greatest example for what we do, but when you look into a trunk with panels in it, I want those panels to look like they flow and actually belong. And we took elements out of the car and designed them into what we designed. For instance, I know you're probably not going to be able to see it, but in this piece here, it's not finished yet. There's a carbon fiber inset here. The whole bottom here is carbon fiber. This whole swoop right here, it has that same exact swoop right there. So the whole thing blends together. When you open this trunk up, you get the same exact design elements to it. And I think that's one of the things that makes our installs unique versus just, throwing a box in the trunk and calling it a day. And as far as my installation philosophy, if I can't do it, I don't want to touch it. I'm not one of those people that just wants to do every little job that I can. If I can't do it and do it at 120%, 180%, I don't want to touch it. I want everything that we do to go to a car show, and I'm not saying that that's all we do. We do regular basic jobs in and out. But on the bigger custom fab jobs and stuff like that, when it goes to a car show or something like that, I want it to stand out above the rest. I want people to look at it and say, oh wow, this was this factory? Did this come like that? And that's pretty much my whole philosophy when it comes to installing. I think everything that we do, whether it's building an amp rack or the final looks of it, it needs to be OEM or better. I think what I want our customers to remember most about our shop and when they visit here, I want them to remember first off that we took care of them. We did everything in our power to make them happy. I want them to remember that the work that we've done for them, it stands above, and I don't want to talk about any other shops, I don't do stuff like that, but I just want them to know that they got the best quality work that they could possibly get in the area. I love reading some of our reviews, and sometimes the reviews say, wow, this shop was pretty expensive. However, I would gladly pay it again because what they did to our vehicle, nobody's ever done work like this for us before. Or sometimes I had a couple of reviews say, you know, expect to go there and expect to have your wallet ready because you're going to be spending some coin, and know that it's going to be worth every penny because they're not just going to rush your car in and out. And that's one of the things, if not the most important thing, I think, to customers is just they know that they're getting the most for their money. They know that we're going to take care of them, and we're not going to just disappear if they need help with something or if they have some sort of an issue down the line. And one of the main things is I want them to know that if there's ever an issue down the line, it's not our installation, it's just a problem with one of the pieces of equipment that got installed. I want them to know exactly how much we care about their vehicles, just like they're one of our own vehicles. Some of the people that I've looked up to, and this is not all the people, but I always try to choose the people that have helped me the most. One of the biggest influencers for me has been Justin Smith, who's not an installer. He's a sales rep for DAS, and he's always been just one of the biggest influencers on me. He's one of those people that got me into motivational speeches. There's a lot to that. But other than him, Justin Marks, John Brettel, Chris McNulty, Ada, Jaime Palafax, the list will go on and on, but I always try to pick the people that have helped me and that I know if I had a question right now on a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock when football's about to start, if I wanted to go call them up because I'm having an issue trying to figure out how to design something in a 2D vector file or whatever, they're always there, they're always willing to help, and they're always have either the correct answer. If not, they're gonna find the right answer for me. So those are some of the people I've always looked up to and I think are always at the top of the food chain with this business. I feel like I should be part of the top 50 installers because I've worked at this for 24 years now. For me, it's always about evolving and getting better. I never get a motive where I'm the best and nobody can touch me. It's always, what can I learn next? What can I figure out? What can I take on as a new method or a new installation technique to better myself? I never want to stop and just say, okay, good enough. For me, it's always, well, with this job, we could have done it this way. And if we did it this way, we might have been able to do that. And I put my heart and soul into everything that we do. For me, being in the top 50 installers, it's not about just throwing a thing up on the wall in front of the building. It's about going next. What's next? Going to the top 12 installers. Maybe one day become installer of the year, who knows? But I always want to get better, always want to be better, always will get better, because I have the drive to never stop. And that's basically why I feel like I deserve to be in the top 50 installers. This is the trunk layout we're working on right now. We did a piece of real carbon fiber. It's almost done. I need to sand it out, buff it, and then, well, sand it out, wet sand it, buff it, then it should be good, polish it out. But down here there's a piece of acrylic with suede over top engraved through the acrylic, and that'll be backlit with addressable LEDs. There's also an acrylic trim ring that goes in here that'll be backlit with LEDs. And you can see the LEDs are inset actually right there. This is our RTA that we use for tuning most of the systems that we do. And we have a tuning cart actually with a 32-inch monitor that we can roll around to different vehicles, set this up in the car, and then basically view everything on the monitor, so it's nice and simple to view it. This is our fab shop here. We keep all our templates on the walls. Some of them are out being used right now. And we have our dust collector. We have 3 router tables. And then I have 1 more router table built into the table saw behind me. This is our Raise 3D Pro 3 Plus. It's a large format FDM 3D printer. Allows us to print materials such as ABS and ASA, which are high temp and won't deform in cars. So this is a speaker adapter we printed out of ASA. We print tweeter pods, whatever we want to print really. But this printer will print 12 by 12 by 24 high. And here we have our Glowforge laser cutter and engraver. We use this to cut out acrylic or engrave logos into things. We've engraved leather, suede, a whole bunch of different materials on here. And obviously we make our own templates with it as well. And we'll be getting a bigger laser. This is a wide format printer that we use. With this we can print out full renderings, or we could even print out sketches of full-size door panels and hold them up to a door that we designed on Procreate or similar applications like that. Right now it just has a canvas material in it. So our welder we use for making brackets, doing a certain type of work, anything with metal. Right here we have our metal brake for doing any sort of sheet metal work. So if we need to bend our own brackets to build an amp rack or make any sort of bracket to hang something that's sturdy, this is what we use right here. Or if we need to weld to it, we obviously have our welder. We'll weld right to that. This is my main toolbox. This is where I keep pretty much all my stuff. Battery chargers, all my drop lights, drills, everything. Got the newer Aussie iron. This thing's amazing. I also have the old one, which I still use. And these are all old phones I keep around for testing random things. This has an iPod 30-pin dock, or iPod 30-pin dock. Then we got 2 older iPhones and Android. So a lot of people only have iPhones and they don't have Androids to actually test stuff. But when you're doing a radio with Android Auto, you kind of need that.